Good morning. If you'd like to stand, we'll sing our call to worship. Last line, isn't it, Jim? One, two, three, four. This joy I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. Take it away. This peace I have, the world didn't give it to me. This peace I have, the world didn't give it to me. This peace I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. Take it away. This love I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. Take it away. This life I have, the world didn't give it to me. This life I have, the world didn't give it to me. This life I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. Take it away. This joy I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. Take it away. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. Take it away. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away.
Well, welcome to Unity of Traverse City. I'm Ann Reed, and I am your worship assistant today. I've got a few announcements to make. First, I want to mention the Father Fred Food Drive. We are looking for donations, so if you have any items in your cupboard, in your pantry, that perhaps you don't want any longer, that Father Fred could use, please bring them in. We'll be collecting for the next 2 weeks? Next 2 Sundays, so keep that in mind. Excuse me. Our End of Life series continues today. We're beginning at noon here in the sanctuary, and today's topic is writing an obituary. Oh boy. Publishing obituaries can run into hundreds of dollars, so learn the tips on the use and the misuse of obituaries and tips on writing meaningful and maybe less expensive ones. Compassionate Choices, the Compassionate Choice Group will be meeting this Wednesday, September 25th. Can you believe it's already September 25th? Whoa. September 25th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the Fellowship Hall. They envision a world of healing and peace for all beings. So please join us for conversation and fellowship as we explore how our daily choices can reflect our deepest values. All are welcome. We want to welcome our new AV tech, Rowdy Viverberg. Yay, Rowdy! He's working in the sound room for the first time today. Rowdy lives in Kalkaska, is a graduate of Michigan Tech, and has experience working with churches. Please join me in welcoming Rowdy to our team. So, yay, Rowdy! We're so happy you're here. Our membership pathway course will begin next month. It consists of 3 classes: Unity Basics, Unity Traverse City and You, and then the membership class. And they will be offered on 3 Sundays in October, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th. These are designed for anyone who is contemplating becoming a member of Unity of Traverse City, or anyone just interested in learning more about us and Unity. If you're interested, please put your name and phone number on the sign-up sheet in the lobby. And lastly, our Jim Coates, a Celebration of Life. A Celebration of Life service will be held for Jim Coates on Saturday, October 19th at 11 a.m. in the sanctuary. So we'll share more information as it becomes available. I think we're ready for our next song.
Yay. If you'd like to stand. Get your mind off the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Now we'll move into our service, and we'd like to start with an opening prayer, which is what we would normally do. But today, since it is the autumn equinox, does everyone know what an equinox is? It's when the sun is actually over the equator and you have an equal time of day and night. So it's a really beautiful time of transformation, transition. So today I'd like to read an autumn equinox blessing, and this is from Wendy Jansen, who is the founder and pastor at Burning Bush Forest Church in Ontario, Canada, a little bit further north of Connecticut. And these people choose to worship out in nature. It's really kind of a beautiful concept. So this is from Wendy, if you would close your eyes, if you're comfortable doing that. Blessed are you, autumn, season of unavoidable endings. You show us how letting go can be a glorious, joyful practice with your spectacular colors. You model how to hold paradoxes with grace, the balance of living and dying, relinquishing and receiving, gathering and sharing. You know that death is not an ending, but a passage, a transformation into a new life. May we learn these lessons well, to celebrate with abandon, to practice with reverence, to surrender completely, to embrace tenderly, and to love without regret. Amen. Now, I believe on the slide is our statement of unity for today. If we could say this together. My thoughts, words, and actions contribute to a peaceful world. Thank you. Excuse me. Now's the time for our meditation. Today, again, we're going to look at or think about or reflect on the fall equinox, which is time of balance between day and night. It's a powerful moment for grounding and reflection. So this meditation is designed to help you connect with the energy of balance and transition. So if you would, please get comfortable in your chairs. I'd take a moment just to look outside, look at our beautiful grounds, look at the trees. And when you're ready, just gently close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply. Inhale through your nose, hold for a moment, and exhale through your mouth. Let each breath bring you more fully into the present moment. Feel your body relax with each exhale. With each inhale, imagine yourself drawing in the energy of the earth, grounding your body and mind. Feel your connection to the earth beneath you, solid and supportive. Visualize roots extending from your body into the earth, anchoring you firmly. Now picture the sun slowly setting, casting golden hues across a landscape of autumn colors. This is the moment of balance between light and dark. In your mind's eye, see yourself standing between the energy of summer's light and the coming quiet of winter's darkness. Allow yourself to feel the balance within you, the harmony of opposites. Reflect on what you're ready to release, just as the trees begin to let go of their leaves. What habits, patterns, or energies no longer serve you? As you breathe out, imagine those things gently falling away from you, like leaves drifting to the ground. With the clarity that comes from letting go, focus on what you wish to cultivate in this season of harvest and transformation. What seeds of intention are you ready to nurture? Visualize these intentions growing strong and steady in the months ahead. Spend a few moments reflecting on the transition from the active energy of summer to the more introspective energy of fall. Honor the need for both activity and rest, light and dark, and allow yourself to embrace this shift with ease and grace as we sit in the silence. Now take a moment to express gratitude for the blessings of the past season, whether they are personal achievements, relationships, or simply the beauty of life's cycles. Feel the warmth of gratitude in your heart. Now slowly bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Take a few deep breaths and open your eyes when you're ready. Carry the balance of equinox with you as you move through your day. And so it is.
to open my heart. I am willing to be the change I wish to see. And I know that it's all love, 'cause I am willing to listen to the still small voice in me. I am willing to open my mind. I am willing to be the change I wish to see. And I know that it's all good, 'cause I am willing to listen to the still small voice in me. I am willing to open my life. I am willing to be the change I wish to see. And I know that I can trust, 'cause I am willing to listen to the still small voice in me. Yes, I am willing to listen to the still small voice in me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So our Reverend Kit Holmes and our wonderful, wonderful music team, thank you all so much. Does anybody else have the hair stand up on the back of your neck? I mean, God, when the drums come in rolling, it's like, oh my God. I would say more about that, but I'm going to get in trouble. Anyway. Reverend Kit Holmes, our speaker for today.
Thank you, Ann Reed. Is this mic up loud enough? You want a little bit more? Okay, great. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Roland. Thank you, Ernie, and thank you, Brad. It gave me chills. And thank you, Ken, because he's like throwing in that harmony there. And man, oh man, what a great addition. Welcome, welcome to the music team. Oh my. And sorry about the noise. Welcome to Sunday morning, and thank you just very quickly to those of you who came to the house concert last night. Many of you in the room were there. Thank you again. For those of you who were not there, do not fear missing out. There will be another one at some point, and we will let you know about that one as well. It may be at Stephen Silla's, it may be somewhere else. We don't know yet. But just know it was a marvelous evening for me. I hope it was for you as well. I had a tremendous time, and I feel so loved up and so supported. And to be able to be here with you again today to speak about this. And Anne, you just nailed it with the equinox, because that's today. And I was, you took half my sermon, but that's okay. I'm not. We don't discuss ahead of time. They get the topic, they get the theme, they let Spirit move through them, whoever's on the platform, and Carol picks the music. You know, God does what God do here in this place, and I'm so grateful for that. So yes, today is the autumnal, and I like saying that word, the autumnal equinox, the fall equinox, that half space in the middle, the dividing line, not a separation, but a demarcation line of giving us perspective, as it were. And this last week I was in a meeting and having a conversation, and you may, for many, many years has been the saying, I don't remember where it originated, but it's wherever you go, there you are. Okay. It landed for me in a very different way this last week. Like after all these years of hearing it, it's like, okay, there I go, here I am, so. And what the context was around moving through changes in life, or instigating or making our own changes, deciding to make our own changes, sometimes out of default, sometimes out of our subconscious strategies, and I have had a few of my own, unconsciously making choices that when I look at the scope of my life now, from where I am in my spiritual growth and healing, and my life in general is, I was a runner. I ran away from things. That was my coping mechanism. When the early fears and the early traumas and the early abuses, and I'm talking about not just physical or sexual, but religious, emotional, societal, my coping mechanism was to run. And just one of those God moments for me last week that landed in a new way that said, wow. A new job, a new relationship, a new location, a new geographical location, move across the country, thinking that things would change. But wherever I went, there I was. And this beauty of this season right now, today, with this equinox, is that wherever we are in the middle of something. We are in the middle of somewhere in our journey in life. However long we end up, however many years we have left on this planet, we are in the middle of something. We are in the middle of spiritual growth. And so there is beginning, middle, end. And the middle is our constant. If you think of a seesaw, you think of a teeter-totter, you think of any of those things, the fulcrum point, this is how I like to look at it, the fulcrum where it balances, that's God. Our humanness, we tip one way and we tip the other way, and we go into our ego and we go into our spiritual awakenings and we go into our blissful moments of saying, I know where the center is. And then we tip to the other side and we go, where is the middle? Where is the middle? When I was looking at this idea of balance today, about the equinox, and one of the first things that came up was that we are right here in Traverse City, we are very close to the 45th parallel. If you go over Gaylord to the east and you go to Sutton's Bay or you go over to Leland, those are like the major points in Michigan. I almost said Texas. That was weird. But the 45th parallel, halfway between the equator and the North Pole. And then this other thing came up, as it always does when I'm putting things together, was the continental divide, which runs through all the way from Canada all the way down to South America. That it's a little weavy in points. But what the continental divide is, it doesn't divide the continent evenly. It is a demarcation line where precipitation on one side or the other falls eventually in this country to the Atlantic Ocean or to Pacific Ocean. And I'll read you this beautiful quote from this book called The 12 Conditions of a Miracle, the Miracle Worker's Handbook. And the author's name is Todd Michael. So if really think about wherever the rain falls, rolls down the mountainside on either side, into the tributaries, into the streams, into the rivers, and that's what the continental divide is. I always thought it was like, oh, it splits the country down the middle equally. No, it doesn't. I learned something new. So he says, such is the vantage point of the continental divide. All precipitation landing on the eastern side of the ridge flows east to Boulder Creek, he's talking about Colorado, and eventually makes its way to the Atlantic Ocean. All precipitation falling on the western side of the ridge flows down to the Colorado River, eventually emptying into the Pacific Ocean. In theory, drops that land on the eastern side end up in the Atlantic, while those that land on the other side end up in the Pacific Ocean. Although hard to believe, the difference of a fraction of an inch here at the point of origin would eventually result in the difference of an entire ocean, an entire world. I mean, we're going into a big scope thing here. It's funny, but that's how cause and effect is. The difference in one step, one choice, one word, one little thought from the point of origin can make a literal world of difference as the flow sweeps downstream, inexorably amplifying our intent. You are balanced on your own continental divide every moment of your life. Each moment as you walk this ridge that is your life, you make a choice. Whether you are aware of it or not, each moment you choose to pour the water of your thoughts down one side or the other. You either choose to sow thoughts of uncertainty, conflict, and lack, or you choose to sow thoughts of fulfillment, happiness, and ease, visions of intentional, positive creation. That's a pretty big scope that brings it right down to the center of our being, of God being right here in the middle of it, Spirit being available to us in every single moment, and we are always at choice. And our work, as we know in New Thought, in consciousness studies, in metaphysics, is everything begins in mind. Everything begins with an idea. And our work is to be aware of what's going on in our subconscious. For example, an unconscious habit of running away from things, making choices unconsciously, all in service of feeling safe and secure, without knowing that that point of safety in the middle is God. At every moment, the point in the middle of the safety point is God. We are resourced, we are supplied, we are supported, we are unconditionally loved, and we are completely forgiven. And that is a big thing to work through, to get into our being, that at every point in our life, we are not being judged by something outside of us saying, well, you didn't do that right. I'm going to smite you. Doesn't work that way. That's not what we believe. We believe in an unconditionally loving God, do we not? How do we take that in, though? How do we practice that on a day-to-day basis? The word reconcile in this talk about balance. The word, thanks for the paperclip and thanks for printing, Bob. The word reconcile means to bring back into, to restore friendly relations between. As in, I wanted to reconcile with my father, or we want to reconcile with a person. It's a cause to coexist in harmony, to make or show to be compatible. That's one definition of reconcile. To make compatible, to make harmonious, to make it square, to make it congruent, to cause to be in agreement. To make an account, so reconciling as we do like in bookkeeping, we reconcile an account to make it consistent with another, especially by allowing transactions begun but not yet completed. I like that as a spiritual metaphor. I'll read that again. To make consistent with another, especially by allowing for transactions begun but not yet completed. So if you're familiar at all with bookkeeping, there's all kinds of columns and chart of accounts and things like that, and they all balance out some way. So even if you know you have money coming in, you haven't received the money yet, but you know it's coming in because you gave a product or a service for that money, every one of those little columns, at the end of the day, the idea is that they balance out so you know where everything is. Even the transactions that have not happened yet. And that is where our trust in the center is. Okay, I have set an intention, I have made a choice, I am taking divine right action, I am doing the inspired thing, I haven't seen the other side of the equation yet. It has not manifested in my experience, but I trust enough in spirit that it is going to manifest, that I can reconcile at the end of the day that I did my best. We have this thing in bookkeeping, and by the way, I did it for a number of years. I talked about last night the benefit that I had of being in my mother's womb as she taught piano lessons, and the benefit of having that musical input. And now the studies and all these years later say, I think it's called the Mozart effect or something like that. I might be mixing my metaphors. But it's the idea that there is something that happens in the brain with, of course, with music. And music is very mathematical. And I loved math as a kid. And eventually I got to places where my day job, I was doing bookkeeping while I was playing in bands and stuff at night. There is a certain satisfaction. There is a great satisfaction when everything lines up and everything reconciles and there's nothing hanging out like, it's like, yeah, I did it. That is where we get to do our work in spirit. As we put it ahead of like I can see the bottom line. The bottom line is God. The center is God. The center of the ledger is God. It's putting our trust in that to say, I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep putting my trust that there is that beautiful thing behind all that I do, because it's in me, it is in you, it is in all of us saying, move forward. I want to express more. I want to express more through you and as you. And that satisfaction, day in and day out, to deal with the old unconscious paradigms, to let them come up to be healed. It is tough work, and I know a lot of you know that. To sit in the feeling, to sit in the fear, to sit in the sense of, okay, my mind is telling me that I'm not separate from God, but it feels awful like right now I feel really separate in those moments of deep fear and stress and grief. And our tendency and our practice tendency is to say, well, where is God in this? And we go right back to God is right there in the middle of every moment, every nanosecond, every split second, any line measurement that you want to give it. And that's our work. To know that and keep telling ourselves and keep affirming it until that deepest part of it that knows that already, that came into the world knowing that, we keep peeling away and peeling away and peeling away and setting down the shields and the armor and the defenses and our knee-jerk reactions. And we take a pause and say, God is in the middle of this too. And even as awful as the conditions might look right now in certain areas of my life or in the collective, in the universe, I can reconcile that there is something in all of it happening for us individually and for us collectively. I can reconcile because I know that the big accountant in the sky is God. And not because God's sitting there saying, you belong in that column and you belong in that column. You belong in the whole picture. You're a part of the equation. You are part of that sum that is greater than the sum of its parts. Have you heard the phrase, the numbers don't lie, right? I mean, they really don't. Some of the work, like I said this week, was landing on that insight and that awareness, which is at once humbling and also exciting. It's like, oh, here's this piece of the equation that I've been looking for, and it was the right time. I was in the right consciousness. I had done enough work where things opened up, where it dropped in and it went, okay, now you're ready to hear this. And that's how Spirit works with us. It is never withholding to teach us a lesson or to say, you didn't get it yet. It waits there in its unconditionally compassionate way, holding it in front of us, saying, when you're ready, it's here. If you're not ready today, that's okay. It's still here, right here in the middle. Do your circles, do your spinning, do all of your gyrations and all of your machinations and everything else, but I'm going to be standing right here holding it in front of you until you're ready to see it. And sometimes when we, especially when we get into this work, and I am guilty of this as well, I want to learn it, I want to heal it, I want to get it done, I want to get it out of the way, I want to be enlightened, I want to move on, I don't want to suffer, I want to check that box, yes. Anybody else do that? Thank you for your honesty and your yes. And the thing is, there is a right time to it. I want to push the river. Doggone it, I want to know. And even though it is standing there waiting for me, there are a few things in front of it that I got to learn first. Not because I'm being punished. Not because I have to prove anything. We don't have to prove anything to God. We came into this life being unconditionally loved and infinitely and abundantly supported. We don't have to earn God's love. It's already there. But our human journey, and as individualized expressions of God, there are places we have to visit before we get to the realization. And it's all part of the bigger realization that says, when you get this piece, and then when you get this piece, and when you get this little piece of the thing, and this little piece of the thing, when you get the big enchilada, the whole deal, it's going to blow your mind. In a good way. That's what happened for me this week. One of the things that happened for me this week around that, because when I heard that phrase, wherever you go, no matter where you go, there you are, I recognize now where I was shaming myself, punishing myself, criticizing myself because I, number one, didn't get the understanding of it. Number two was it kept pointing to those places in me that I kept running away from. Instead of sitting in it and saying, okay, God, I'm going to put you in the middle so I can get through this. It's that reflection, like I said, very humbling and very exciting. And I know without a doubt that I had to get through, I had to go on this part and this piece of the journey and this piece of the journey, and all of the things that I said I was running away from, that was the next realization. It was all part of the bigger picture. It was all part of the bigger picture. And the beauty in all of this is that when I accept my humanness, when I am willing to be the change I wish to see, when I am willing to listen to the still small voice, I am guided. I know I am guided. And I look at some of the crazy stuff I did in my earlier years and go, somebody was watching out for me. Anybody relate to that? And that's my message about this place of balance, of reconciling, is to put God in the middle and do the practice. The practice of balance, to say, okay, yes, I'm human. Yes, I'm divine. I'm going to swing back and forth all the time. But that center point is always going to be there to help me stay balanced. And when I focus on the center, I stay balanced. It's a yoga practice. If any of you do yoga, what do you focus on? You focus on your breath and you focus on your center. Where's your center of gravity? What keeps you balanced? Put God in the middle. Yes. Oh my goodness. These flippy pages at the end of the day. So it's balancing our perceived weaknesses and our strengths. That's it. That's part of the practice. Is the things that we say we're not good at, or they're our shadow side. Giving ourselves the practice of saying, you know what, it's okay for me to say I did all right today. It's necessary for most of us, I think especially these days, to say, you know what, I did okay. I did enough. I was enough today. I made it to church this morning. I woke up this morning. I took a breath. I opened my eyes. I loved my spouse or my partner or my pet or my child. I smiled. We don't think of those things as being important ways to praise ourselves. But I think you all know what a difference a smile can make in the course of your day. To smile at someone you can tell they're having a hard day. And instead of bowing up and getting all cranky with them, put God in the middle and say, I can take a breath. I watched that happen this morning as I stopped at Starbucks, and I've never been early, because I'm always coming from Manistee. I stayed in town last night, and the line was like, oh my God! And I always order ahead, but I was sitting in the parking lot, and I'm watching people jockeying and trying to get in the line, and they're trying to get in parking places, and somebody's waiting for somebody to back up, and this guy next to me, he wanted to get out, and I was like, and I found myself like I wanted to get out and be traffic cop and just say, just shut up, stop, stay, sit, And I was like, and I kept breathing and saying, no, my job is to say, there's a right time. There's no hurry. There is no hurry. Wherever you're going, it's not worth that divisive energy of it's your fault, you're in my way, you're not going fast enough. It's a taking the breath. So our practice for balance, for being willing. First of all, willingness comes with its own, the power of will, one of the 12 powers of unity. It's not willpower. It's not powering over and saying, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to evolve. I'm going to levitate. I'm going to ascend right here and right now. It is the will to do the thing that you say you're going to do. Willingness brings its own little, sometimes a catch in the gut that says, oh, if I'm willing to be the change I wish to see, that means I have to change. And what does that look like? It means moving out of our comfort zone. But it's also knowing, again, putting God in the center of saying, okay, I'm willing to do this, and I'm going to let God fill in the blanks. So our practices, Parker Palmer, who I love, is an author, from his book called Hidden Wholeness, we have much to learn from within, but it is easy to get lost in the labyrinth of the inner life. We have much to learn from others, but it is easy to get lost in the confusion of the crowd. So we need solitude and community simultaneously. What we learn in one mode can check and balance what we learn in the other. Together, they make us whole, like breathing in and out. So if the most basic practice, spiritual practice you do at any given point to find your center, to find God in the center, breathe. Because you know if you breathe in, you got to breathe out. And vice versa. And it becomes so automatic, just like our conscious connection to God can be automatic. Breathing in, breathing out. A gratitude practice, a self-praise practice. Like, I have a list at night, 5 things I'm proud of myself that I did today. And sometimes it is really quite literally, I did this thing when I didn't want to do it. I knew it had to be done, and I did it. Or I picked up the phone, or I sent a text, or I followed through on something, or I saw my neighbor needing some help, and just instead of going on my way, I stopped and said, "Hey, my neighbor was moving last week." I'm like, and I was on my way to the gym, on the way to the appointments, and she's struggling with this chair. I'm like, "Sue, let me help you." "No, it's okay." Because you're going to encounter that too. People who don't know how to receive help. And that includes ourselves. Sometimes we don't know how to ask for it. We were not taught to ask for help. And we weren't taught to receive it. So gratitude, praise work. I'm proud of myself for doing this. Having an intention list. That's really, really important. Something new that I started is I have like 3 or 4 words. What are my intentions for today? Yesterday on my drive up here, one of my words of intention yesterday was verbal harmlessness. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, did I find myself being harmful in my language to other drivers on the road yesterday. It's like, wow. The power of intention, the power of decision. But before you go to bed at night, in your reading or your meditation or whatever it is in that wind down time, or first thing in the morning, what are my intentions for today? To be verbally harmless, to be generous, to be grateful, to be a generous or giving presence in the world, whatever those might be, and watch how they show up during your day. It was quick. That reconciliation yesterday, when I had that intention word, it was like that. As soon as I pulled out of the driveway, it was like, wow, okay. So Wayne Dyer says, the universe runs on balance. The energy that keeps it in balance is love. Yeah. Balancing our perceived weaknesses and strengths, allowing ourselves to see the good that came from the hard places and the lessons that grew us into being more of our God selves. And just like the seasons changing now in the equinox, always bringing us to the next growing season of our divine expression. So get out there and enjoy the day. Set a few intentions. Recognize the balance. Put God in the middle. Period. And give great, great thanks, because I do. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Namaste.
So now is the time of our offering. Excuse me, I keep coughing. Now is the time of our offering. It's the time to share our financial gifts with the ministry. As children of a loving God, we live in the light of abundance. Deeply grateful for all that has been given and all that is to come, we embrace the good that God provides with joy and thanksgiving. Together, let's say our prosperity blessing, which I believe is on the screen. Together, I am grateful to be a co-creator with Spirit, and I use my powers to fill my life with abundance.
Here we go.
Well, if that doesn't lift you up, I don't know what will. Oh, that's so great. It's hard to believe you were self-taught. I mean, that you're so good. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't even talk. Now I'm supposed to be welcoming first-time guests, and I see a few new faces out there, so you are so welcome to be here. And if you'd like more information about Unity of Traverse City, we actually like to call ourselves a spiritual center, not a church, a spiritual center. We do have information packets in the back. You can pick one of those up from our ushers, and that will tell you more about who we are, why we're here, and what we're all about. We do have prayer chaplains available. I do see I see two. One will be up front, one will be in the lobby. So if you have any special prayer requests, please see the chaplains. That's a really beautiful service that we're able to offer to you. And with that, yes. Yeah, Ken. Yay. Thank you, Carol. And if you haven't heard Ken sing, you talk about the hair going up on the back of your neck. Oh my God, he's so good, so moving. So that's great. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate that. So now's the time to form our circle and pray ourselves out. So let's close with a prayer of gratitude for this incredibly special day, the fall equinox, the balance, the center, the who we are, and the connection that brings us all together and keeps us together. So we're so grateful for all of that and for this opportunity to share and communicate and be with one another. And so it is. Amen. Now, if you have any special prayer requests for people who may not be able to be here today, please feel free to say their names into the circle or just thank them, whatever you're comfortable with. And that will lead us into our prayer for protection.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.